Altcoins are going ballistic along with Bitcoins right now. Out of the top 100 altcoins in the last 30 days, 99 of them are up in valuation. That is insane. And what makes that even more insane is that altcoin season has not even started yet. I'm looking at one chart and one chart alone in this video today. That is the Bitcoin dominance chart, asking the questions, when will altcoin season begin and for how long will it last? Those questions also help us answer questions of when and where will the Bitcoin and cryptocurrency top be. So it's quite an important video. It's a very important chart that's very underrated. Not many people look at it. I'm going to look at it today and shed some light on those questions and hopefully give you some guidance about the market over the coming year. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it.
Guys, before we get into the content today, a few things to look at here. First and foremost, the VIP group on Telegram, where we trade altcoins 3 to 4 times a week at a 78.52% win rate, and getting access to a VIP 24/7 discussion group chat to discuss the market with other VIP members. Everything you need to trade altcoins is there on Telegram. Check it out. And then also exchanges. We've got the BingX exchange and the BitGet exchange. BingX being a global non-KYC exchange, BitGet being global KYC for every single country minus the USA. So check them out as per your geographical location. My referral links are down below for 15% trading fee discounts for life. So you can save thousands of dollars with my links on either of these exchanges. And then finally, the bull market sale is active currently for a limited time for Become a Trader 10-unit course. Again, that's the Become a Trader 10-unit course, bull market sale. Everything you need to know about the courses on the website. If you want to learn how to trade, that's where you can do it. Guys, without further ado, let's get into the actual content, into the nitty-gritty today. What are we looking at? We're looking exclusively today at Bitcoin dominance. And Bitcoin dominance is such a great chart. It's such an underrated chart. I think a lot of people need to use it a lot more. A lot of people focus too much, in my opinion, on Bitcoin alone. We have to really start to understand the utility of charts like this. And this chart really helps us answer the questions, when is Bitcoin going to top out? How far away are we from a top? And, that's the cryptocurrency bull market as a whole. When is the crypto bull run going to top out? And second of all, how far upwards do we have to go? Well, the answers to the questions just right off the bat, I can tell you right now at the start, then I can explain it. First and foremost, we're still very far away from the top, right? The bull market is just getting started, and the Bitcoin dominance chart really does highlight that fact. And the second question, so that's time-wise, we're far away from the top. And the second question, how far will we go? Well, let me just put it this way. Altcoin season has not even started yet. We have not even seen Bitcoin dominance start to decrease. We can see on the total cryptocurrency, on coin market cap here, for example, looking at the coins in the top 100 and going to their 7-day returns, basically every single coin in the last 7 days is up quite substantially, most of them being in 10% or higher. Very, very few coins, probably 15 coins out of the 100 coins are down, and the most down, the one that's gone down the lowest is Bitcoin Cash, Casper, Flare. These are all coins that have pumped up massively in the last 30 days. If we go to 30-day returns, we can see that clearly that every single coin essentially in the last 30 days is up significantly. In fact, every single coin in the top 100 except for one coin, right? TIA is up massively in the last 30 days, okay? That just shows you that altcoins right now, along with Bitcoin, by the way, are going ballistic, and it's excellent to see because we haven't even started the altcoin season yet, right? Altcoin season, what is altcoin season? First and foremost, let's just dive into this chart straight away here. What is the Bitcoin dominance chart? Put simply, the Bitcoin dominance chart is a chart that measures the strength of Bitcoin against the strength of altcoins using total cryptocurrency market cap as a metric of measurement. So for example, right now, the Bitcoin dominance chart is at 53.55%, which means that 53.55% of the entire value of the cryptocurrency market is in Bitcoin, and the other 46.45% is in altcoins, okay? So it's a direct kind of measurement in a percentage format as to how much money is in Bitcoin and how much money is in the rest of the coins. So right now, over half of the entire value of crypto is in Bitcoin. Now, why is it useful? It's useful because when we see vicious downwards trends, that means that Bitcoin is losing dominance in the market. It means that people are favoring altcoin investments, and that's what we call an altcoin season, okay? And when this chart is going upwards, it means that Bitcoin is gaining dominance in the market, and that's what we call a Bitcoin season. Now, right now, we are in a Bitcoin season. We've been moving sideways for the most part for about 5 months, but we haven't actually started a downwards trend, so we're still technically in a Bitcoin season here. And what we can notice about the Bitcoin dominance chart is that we see altcoin seasons and Bitcoin seasons at very interesting periods of times in the market. For example, when the market is skyrocketing, when we are seeing a bull market, that is when we start to see an altcoin season. Now, why is that the case? Because when we see a bull market and everything's going upwards, people get more risk tolerant. They start to take more risks and they don't get the same returns on Bitcoin as they do in altcoins. So they start to look at altcoins for investments. They get greedy. They throw their money at shit coins, meme coins, anything that comes up, they'll throw their money at. They're not interested in Bitcoin at that period of time. So altcoin season occurs for a period of time, which we'll measure in a second, and then the market tops, everything crashes downwards, and then we see a bear market. And in a cryptocurrency bear market, what happens to Bitcoin dominance? Well, Bitcoin dominance rises upwards. People flock to Bitcoin for safety. That's what's been happening since 2022. People have been flocking to Bitcoin for safety, and that's led to Bitcoin going upwards massively in the Bitcoin dominance chart rising, which means that if you this is basically what it means, right? If you held a Bitcoin investment since September 2022, where the bottom was here, you would be, on a generalized scale, better off than holding any given altcoin, okay, on a generalized scale. So, Bitcoin has outperformed altcoins on a generalized scale since September 2022, which is why our entire buying plan on this YouTube channel, going back to 2022, has been Bitcoin focused. It is only now, in the last couple of months, where we've been speaking about altcoins. I literally did not make a single altcoin video for a whole year throughout 2022 to 2023 because Bitcoin dominance was rising. I would realize very clearly that altcoins are going to be underperforming Bitcoin on a generalized scale. That doesn't mean you're going to not see exceptions, right? Exceptions are going to occur. You're going to see altcoins outperforming Bitcoin. You're going to see a few of them, probably dozens of them. But the fact of the matter is, exceptions don't make the rule. On a generalized scale, altcoins have been outperformed by Bitcoin, and now that pendulum is finally starting to swing. Okay, we are seeing horizontal consolidation, some top formations forming. Look, maybe we go up one more time, but for the most part, Bitcoin dominance is being threatened to go downwards here, which is typical of what you see in a bull market. So if we look at this Bitcoin chart, we've graphed it up a bit here, we can take a look at what we think is going to occur. If we're looking cyclically, what's happened, okay? So Bitcoin dominance starts going downwards when the bull market occurs, but specifically at 2 data points. I have these circles here. I have yellow circles and red circles. Now, the yellow circle represents the halving, and the red circle represents when Bitcoin breaches its prior all-time high. Now, what you see is that at the halving, that is when we really see Bitcoin dominance start to take its first leg downwards. And then when Bitcoin finally breaks all-time highs, that's when the altcoin season truly begins. Now, obviously, we're in a bit of a unique cycle this time because now, Bitcoin is threatening to properly break all-time highs before the halving actually occurs. But regardless of any of that, doesn't really matter. The fact of the matter is both of these events, Bitcoin having a halving or Bitcoin breaking the price cycle all-time high, both of those events are historically indicative of Bitcoin dominance starting to go downwards, historically indicative of people starting to flock into altcoins. The question is, do we see it behave differently this time? Because obviously now we've got Bitcoin ETFs. Does Bitcoin get a bit more attention this time? It's very difficult to say. We don't actually know. But if we're looking at the historical trends, what we can find out is very, very clear. What we can see is that basically at the halving and when Bitcoin breaks all-time highs, those are the first indications of weakness on Bitcoin dominance, and those are the first indications that altcoin season starts to kick off. Right now, we have not even started the altcoin season yet. So we might actually go upwards for another leg on Bitcoin dominance. Maybe Bitcoin skyrockets again, Bitcoin dominance rises, we break this pink line. That could occur. But really, the situation is, until we see Bitcoin dominance actually start to decrease rapidly in an altcoin season format, it's very, very, very unlikely that the cryptocurrency market will have seen a top. You have to remember, guys, cryptocurrency works in a money flow cycle. Now, I'm going to delete all these lines here, clear up this chart here, and make it make sense to you. It just looks like a bunch of blue lines, but I'll make it make sense in a second here. So what we have are letters here. We have B for Bitcoin, E for Ethereum, and then A for altcoins, and F for fiat. What we see is that in a bear market, people sell all their assets at the top of the bull market, they put it into fiat, right? And then in a bear market, they flow their fiat back into Bitcoin. And then when Bitcoin rises during the first leg of the bull market, they look for higher returns. They go into into Ethereum. And then from Ethereum, they go into altcoins. And then from altcoins, there's nowhere else for the money to go except for back into fiat. People take profits and the market crashes and the whole cycle repeats. So this is why the only actual bull market, I guess, cheat code we've ever seen, or bull market programming we've ever seen, is one that involves typical crypto money flow, which is what I've just analyzed. So without an altcoin season, it would be very weird for us to be seeing a bull market top. And so this is why I'm so set on the fact that we need to be seeing an altcoin season at some point. I'm not really concerned about when we see it, but I think we need to see it. Now, if we're looking, and this is where it gets interesting, right? Because covering context, covering kind of information that many of you may know, but this is where we get into the big questions, right? First and foremost, the fact that we have not seen Bitcoin dominance start to decrease when we know for a fact that the only way we've ever seen the market top is via Bitcoin dominance decreasing and altcoin season maxing out, means that we are nowhere near the top. That's the first thing, right? We're nowhere near the top, and we can confirm that via Bitcoin dominance, okay? So Bitcoin and cryptocurrency as a whole is just starting this bull market, both on a price level and also on a time level. We're nowhere near the top here, as observed by the Bitcoin dominance chart. The second question is, when will cryptocurrency top? Now, I've done many videos over the last few days outlining what a left translated cycle will look like. There's many speculations and theories looking at, tops happening between, March and April next year, and also the traditional 4-year cycle saying October next year. But I realistically, in my opinion, the most probable outcome at this point is looking something like the first half of 2025, okay? I'm not overly confident in that. It's very hard to be confident in something when it's deviating from macro trends, but that's what, in my opinion, what most of the data is kind of suggesting at this point. Now, Bitcoin dominance shows us something very interesting as well. If we take a measurement and we see how long these altcoin seasons have actually historically lasted, we can go ahead and see that this altcoin season back here, starting from when it actually really started declining, right, which was back here in around February 2017, all the way to the top in January 2018, the top of the market and the bottom of the altcoin season, or the bottom of Bitcoin dominance, it took about 300 days, okay? So the altcoin season lasted about 300 days. If we look here at 2021, we can see from December 2020 all the way through to the market top, which was November 2021. Again, it took around 300 days. Bitcoin dominance bottomed out in around, let me remeasure that so I can actually see it. Bitcoin dominance bottomed out for the most part, again, in around 385 days, but for the most part, around 140 days, okay? So it's not really giving us a particularly precise trend here at all. There's no trend here at all, actually. But what we can see is that the vast majority of the altcoin season gains occur basically, right, within the first leg of the altcoin season, in this case, in February 2017 to around July 2017, which was 140 days. We then saw a major bounce upwards and another leg downwards. And a similar thing kind of happened in 2020 and 2021. Again, we saw the first leg here. It took about 140 days. We then saw a major kind of consolidation, and we did end up going a little bit further down, but it wasn't as far down as what happened in January 2018 or December 2017. And the reason being would probably be something along the lines of, Bitcoin saw a bit of an abnormal bull market in 2021. We saw, Bitcoin have a massive correction in the middle of the year and then go upwards just a little bit higher than where it went in the first half of the year. But all of this, is kind of irrelevant to the point. The point is, the first leg of the altcoin season has taken historically about 140 days. So if we were going to see Bitcoin dominance start to top out right now, and 140 days from now would be something like July this year, okay? And then we have to consider that doesn't mean that's the top of the bull market, because it's taken, again, around 300 or more days from the actual top on Bitcoin dominance to the actual bottom on Bitcoin dominance in both cycles. Even though this cycle here in 2021 was a little weird, the fact of the matter is it still took about 300 days or something like that. So if we're going to take a 340-day measurement, that would take us to around January 2025. That's if we start, dropping down right now, which is not guaranteed at all. In fact, the halving is about a month and a half away. So if we started dropping in a month and a half, that would take us to around March 2025, which would line up with basically what we've been looking at in a left translated cycle in the last few videos. But the point is, right, I'm trying my best actually to remain quite sloppy on purpose in this video. And I'll tell you why. I don't think we have the evidence at all to know when Bitcoin will actually top in this bull market. I don't think we have it. I think we're deviating from 4-year cycle. The 4-year cycle is by no means invalidated, but the 4-year cycle is the only strong evidence, like on a macro scale, that we can really nail down a actual date range prediction. Right now, without the 4-year cycle, we're being left with scraps, and we don't really know exactly where those scraps are going to leave us in terms of predictions. I'm being vague on purpose. What I'm trying to articulate through all these numbers and through all these random, sometimes arbitrary measurements is that based on everything we've ever seen with crypto bull markets, we see a bear market in crypto, which leads to Bitcoin dominance rising, and then a bull market in crypto, which leads to Bitcoin dominance dropping. And that's what's called an altcoin season. We have not seen that altcoin season occur yet, and that altcoin season generally takes a few hundred days from start to finish, which means we're probably at least a few hundred days from Bitcoin and cryptocurrency topping out as a whole. So throughout my sloppy articulation, those are the key points I've been trying to make, and I hope I've made them to some degree. I understand the data here is not overly convincing, but the fact of the matter is, as I said, we don't really have massively convincing data, with the absence of something like a reliable, strong 4-year cycle. Again, it's still valid, but it's being pushed to its real limit. There's dents in the armor at this point. So what I can say to you is this, as I've said multiple times now, Bitcoin dominance generally drops in a bull market. That has not occurred yet. That drop generally takes a few hundred days. That has not occurred yet. That drop entails an altcoin season. That has not occurred yet. So all the positive gains you're seeing on altcoins right now are probably, according to all the historical data, probably just the start. So I think, now's the time to be quite excited about crypto. And I'm not telling you this so, go and buy $50 billion worth of altcoins. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just looking at the macro trends. You guys need to do it for data what you will. Perhaps you disagree with the data, let me know in the comments, but I'm just showing you what we've seen historically. This is pretty objective in my opinion. I mean, it's pretty basic stuff. There's not really much opinion in this video. Fact of the matter is, Bitcoin dominance goes down in a bull market. That's all we've ever seen before, and I don't know why this time would be different. Assuming it's not different, it will go down in a bull market. Assuming it's not different, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency won't top until it does. And right now, we haven't even seen that yet. So lots to look forward to, in my opinion, throughout 2024 and potentially even throughout a bit of 2025. I'm very excited to keep the YouTube content coming, and hopefully you guys are here along for the ride. So guys, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.